Hello everybody, thank you so much for your time. In today's sessions, I'm going to share with you how to create a reverb effect, okay, using Presonus Studio One Prime. Again, Studio One Prime is absolutely free. You can download it from Presonus website. I have a couple of videos to show you and guide you step by step how to install it on your computer, being you are using a Mac or you are using a Windows. So you can check that out if you have not installed yet. And for those of you who are very eager to know how to add that effect, you can navigate to the timestamp below because I'm going to share some concept, okay, how to use that. Let's begin. Again, this video is for the beginners, okay? So if you are the pros, you can literally skip this part, all right? Now, so effect, when it comes to reverb, the main purpose of us using the reverb is to create space. So let me just play for you to listen with and without the effect of reverb. So I strongly encourage you to put on your headphone or earphone so that you can hear the difference, okay? So let me play this for you and let's start without the reverb. With the reverb. Off. On. Alright, so let me know in the comment sections whether you can hear the difference or not. Okay, now let me zoom in a little bit. So for the effect, okay, so if we want to add the effect, we can use the send channels, okay, so send section, okay, to add in the effect, okay. Now, some of you may be asking, why do I use the send, or when should I use the send, or what type of effects should I use the send channel, okay, why I can't use the insert. Yes, you can use the insert to add in the effect, but it has a drawback on that, okay? So it depends on your purpose. So I'm going to share with you the difference between the insert and the send, okay? Now, what you are seeing over here is a simple diagram of your channel, okay? Your track or your channel strip. The audio comes in, flow through the insert, and then the send section. So think of it this way. If you are using the effect or the plugged in on the insert, you are adding the effect directly on your signal. Your audio signal, the entire signal will be affected by your plugged in or by your effect, okay? Now, in this case, zoom in, the audio signal comes in, goes through, pass through the insert, okay? And then you have your EQ plug in, for example. Then the entire signal will be processed in your EQ. After that, it goes through another one, let's say compressor, and this is sequential. So EQ comes first and then compressor. Of course, there are some cases where you want to compress first and then EQ. The signal will be impacted entirely, okay? So the whole entire signal will get processed. But when you come to the send, this send guy is like a duplicated channel effect for you, meaning that whatever signal, your original signal, doesn't get any changes, okay? It stays unchanged. But then you have a duplicated effect channel to manipulate or change the effect that you want. And the best part is you can control how much effect or how much signal goes to the effect, okay? So that is the difference. Give you an analogy is like insert is like you have your seasoning, putting your seasoning directly to your food, okay? You want to put pepper, you want to put salt, you want to put chili, everything on your food directly. That is your insert. And the other one, which is the send, is like having a separate curry sauce as a side dish, side plate that you can dip into it anytime you want and the amount that you want. Okay, so that's the best analogy that I can think of. All right, now let's go back to my Studio One. So over here, I'm going to show you how to add in the effect and what is the difference. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how to do that and what will be the impact. So let me just add a track. By now you should know how to add a track, okay? So if you have not and you are still unsure, you can watch my other videos. Okay, so I choose the Vox 2 pink color as my Vox track and I choose the correct channel, and now I have my Vox 2. Okay, let me move it up. Alright, so let me turn on the track. Okay, so this is dry signal. Let me zoom in for you to see. All right, so on top of it, this is my Vox 2. Okay, now let me zoom into the channel tracks. Okay, so over here you have the insert and the send. So let me just record a short speech so that we can use that for demo. Okay, so let's just do that. Hello everybody, thank you so much. So today we are talking about reverb. Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to solo that, but I think it still works. Let me play back. Hello everybody, thank you so much. So today we are talking about reverb. This is a dry signal without any effect. So let's say I want to add the insert, because insert, it will affect the entire signal on your track. So let me just add a mixed verb. Okay, all right, so now you can already hear some effects going on. This is full effect. Okay, so let me just choose one preset, let's say large hall. Okay, now you can hear this is large hall, very big space that I want to create. Now this is on the insert channel. Okay, insert channel. So of course, if you are using this on my vocals, I find it, oh, this is too much. I can actually turn it down. Okay, so now when I play back, hello everybody, thank you so much. So today we are talking about reverb. Okay, so if I'm using it on the insert channel, this is what I need to do, because I need to turn it down, right? So that it doesn't have so much of effect. And then I have to do it track by track. So every track, when I want to add the reverb effect, I have to insert it. And because insert affect all the channel signal, all the signal in the channel, the next effect, let's say for example, if I want to do a EQ, okay, then I only want to EQ out the reverb low end signal. It's not going to work. Okay, so let me show you. Let me just turn on again so that you can hear the difference. I'll make it very obvious. Okay, now let me add a channel strip. Let's say for example, okay, so let me zoom in further so that you can see. Okay, so now let me just move it in this way. Channel strip and then reverb. Okay, so next, let's say for example, let me move down. I want to have a low cut only on my reverb effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all the way up. Okay, now let me play back for you to listen. Hello everybody, thank you so much. So today we are talking about reverb. Okay, so now you can't really hear actually a lot of difference. This is kind of like voice, right? So let me make it a little bit more drastic. Let's say I don't want the high end as well. And now you start hearing some weird thing, because I'm supposed only want to affect my reverb, not my entire channel audio. Let me play back for you to hear. Hello everybody, thank you so much. So today we are talking about reverb. So you can hear that actually it's very difficult to manage that. Let me turn it off. It's a little annoying. It's very difficult to manage it if you are using the if you want to have some effect EQ just to affect the reverb. It's very difficult. It's impossible actually. So now let me show you if I use the send, what's gonna happen. So let me just remove this. So what I do is I go to my send channel, same thing, I will click on the plus. Now over here you see a few things, right? So because I have already added all this effects, so you can ignore it. So if this is the first time you want to add a send effect, channel effects, what you do is add FX channel. Okay, you click on that, then it will add a channel effect. Now, some of you may have a problem seeing or finding your send. You see, I only see, Calvin, I only see the insert. I cannot find my send. Yes, you can actually. So let me show you. If you can't find, it's probably hidden below. So what you need to do is to navigate over here when you see this, this arrow, up and down arrow. You just click and hold your right click on the mouse and then drag it up, and you'll probably see that. Okay, so let me show you this. See, so it comes out already. All right, so this is how you display your send. Okay, now let me show you how to add. Let's continue. So I will click on the plus, add send, add FX channel, and when I click on it, it actually adds the other channel. Let me zoom out so you can see it. So you can see from here I have a FX1. Okay, so I can rename it by double click. So what I need to do is, let's say for example, test verb. Okay, so this is for testing. I put it as test verb. Now whatever effect that I want to add, I will use the insert over here because this is already a effect channel. Okay, the effect channel, so I don't need to send anymore. I can add all my plugged in whatever effect that I want directly to the insert. Okay, so let me just add this, and I choose, let me see, let me choose the mixed verb again. Okay, now straight away you can also hear the effect coming out. Okay, so this is the mixed verb. Okay, let me zoom out and go back to my, okay, so this is the channel. Let me bring in the effect again. Okay, so this is the effect, and here I have a test verb over here. So let me zoom further in. Can you see from here, just right below the test verb, you will have this blue section. When you hover over it, it actually tells you the send level now is -6. So meaning this is not the full effect of my mixed verb. If I click and drag it to the front, you can hear it. Now this is the full effect. So this is very effective because if I want this effect to be even lower, I can drag down, let's say -15, right? Even if I use a large hall, I will only have very little effect on this, but you kind of sound natural, right? So I can increase the effect by going over here and drag the send level. So now you can hear. So I can just drag to whichever levels that I find necessary, appropriate, and then that's it. So that will be the case of using the send. So there are a lot of benefit. I can only choose, okay, I can choose whatever amount of effect I want to add. Okay, so same thing. So let me just go through some of the other channels, other tracks. So this is my drum, right? So it's my drum. I can send this, I send this to a drum verb. So my drum verb is, okay, let me zoom out. This is my drum verb. So my drum verb, under this drum verb, My setting is small drum room. Because this is a one channel drum, that means my kick, everything is in this. Usually for low frequency instruments, we don't do a lot of reverb. Otherwise, it will be very muddy and all that. But I mean, this is free version, right? So we just do with what we have. Now, so this is the bass. So let me just solo the drum so that you can hear. Without the send. So you can hear the kick is very dry. Okay. So, and also of course the tom is also very dry. So if I add the send, the reverb in, you will see the space open up. Because the drum bass small reverb effect is not a lot, because drum I don't need to have a lot. Okay, so that's the drum side. So let me go to the piano. Okay, so piano, so let me see. So piano, I use the big hall effect. Okay, so big hall effect over here. Let me show you. So you can see that the size of the hall is big, but because I'm using a send effect, so I can also affect only certain levels. So now it's like minus 15.8. Without. With. I can increase a little bit more if I want to. So, and then my pad, of course, this pad, I actually use big hall as well, but you see that even if I use the big hall, I actually have it at a much higher level. I want this to have a lot of reverb effect, and this is like minus 1.3, right? So let me show you how it sounds like with only the pad. Okay, only the pad. Off. On. So you can definitely hear the difference, right? Now, next thing is my acoustic guitar. So same thing, I used another reverb. Actually, it's not the big hall. This one is actually a recital hall. Okay, so the difference, let me show you. This is like very smooth without. Turn it on. So now you can hear the difference, right? Before and after. So this is the reason why we choose to use the send instead of the insert. Okay, now let me just turn this off. All right, so now let me just mute this test channel, and let me at the end play you a snippet of this. And this track actually, or this cover songs, is entirely using all the effects, using the built-in effect, okay, stock effect with the channel strips, and these are the effects that I have used. Very simple EQ, compressor, and that's all, and with some reverb effect. Okay, so let me just navigate to maybe the last part. All right, okay, so with this we will end the session. So I will see you next time, and you take care. All right.
There's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just
yes, I forgot actually. There is another effect that I wanted to show you. Okay, one more thing before we go. It's the bass. Okay, how can I forget this? Now, if you let me zoom in. So if you see the bass, it's actually a dist, means it's a distortions instead of the reverb. Okay, let me show you. This is the distortion. Okay, so the reason why I use this instead of the reverb is to cut through the mix. Okay, now again, if I use this in my my insert channels, it will affect the entire sound of my bass, which I don't want. I just need a little bit of distortions to cut through the mix. So let me show you. Turn off. On. So just to add a little bit of character there, so that it cuts through the mix. Okay, so now let me just continue with the song, and we will see you next time. All right.
The whole world stops and stands for a while. 'Cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are.
Goodbye, everybody.